What's going on, guys? This is a video just showing WWE 2K20. If it plays better on, or if it looks better on the PS5. Now I can tell you it does. You know, we're gonna go into an example of that. I will tell you this isn't even a 4K TV, so this is not the maximum level, and the loading is definitely better on here. As you can see, some of these characters you see are created players. The created players don't look quite as good as the real players. As you can see, they have a slightly less realistic look to them, even though their look is pretty good still, but it just isn't quite as on par with the WWE wrestlers. But anyway, and some of the wrestlers look less realistic than others. That doesn't look too realistic, but anyway, let's get into it here. We are going to... Now, what I notice is the arenas are... I'll just be Drew McIntyre, who cares? The arenas look... The created arenas don't look nearly as good as the Raw arenas or the WWE arenas. We're going to use two WWE wrestlers, you know, in this video because Shelton Benjamin. I actually want to just do Bobby Lashley. Wait a minute, hold on, let's go. We'll do Bobby Lashley, and we will select an arena here. Let's just go ahead and go with the current Raw arena, wherever it is. I guess that's it right there. We'll go with that. And wrestle with that. We'll leave the entrance on. So I can just... It definitely looks better, for sure. The textures are a little bit more definitive, as well as the load times are definitely better. All this stuff works correctly.
All hail the Almighty.
Even all that, the crowd looks much better on here on the PS5, I think.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Because in the created arenas, the textures are not nearly as good as the real arenas, as well as the created wrestlers. Like, for example, when you see his skin texture, the created wrestlers aren't quite as good, but they're still really good. There's some issues with clothing textures too, but on the PS5, all that is definitely smoother on here.
The son of a United States drill sergeant, former serviceman himself, Bobby Lashley is all about discipline.
I think we get the point on that one. Let's take a look at... The crowd definitely looks better. I'll tell you that for sure on the PS5. Now, as far as the game playing better, all that's going to be the same, obviously. Even though sometimes, some games, the controls seem better. Like, it seems like they work better on the PS, when you play it on the PS5. I've only noticed that on, like, it's not a huge difference, though. It's a little difference. I mean, when you look at this game, you can tell it's not a PS5 game, but it looks pretty close to a PS5 game. The game...
Listen to this crowd, guys.
Some games do look like PS5 games when you play them on here. This one looks pretty close, but it's coming up a little bit short, I think. But it definitely looks better on here than on the PS4, for sure. I mean, it's mainly just stuff like textures and just the way the crowd looks. Just looks a lot better. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see the way Bobby Lashley looks.
Every match is another chance for him to unleash a brutal display of power and aggression, making other people hurt is what he
Yeah, this definitely looks really good, for sure.
And then you have Bobby Lashley, whose physicality and unmatched power pretty much speaks for itself. It does speak for itself. It's saying, I am the Almighty. Back suplex.
I still enjoy playing this game to an extent, even though some of the stuff, I don't use WWE wrestlers, really. I use created wrestlers for the most part. I don't even, I use everything created. Belts, to arenas, to wrestlers. I don't really use any of this. See, stuff like that is a little bit, sometimes you miss without a reason. But to go into my point, and then for some reason, some wrestlers look more realistic than others. There's a few WWE wrestlers on here that just don't look very good. They don't look realistic, and then others look very realistic.
McIntyre's career is a story of two completely different chapters. McIntyre himself would tell you the first chapter didn't quite go as planned.
I'm gonna come out of this, look at something else, take a look at some created wrestlers. Because honestly, I don't know if they look too much better. In fact, I don't really even notice them really looking better on here. I just notice the background, like the audience and things like that definitely look better. But as far as your creative wrestlers, they're a little bit behind on how real they look. And you would expect that. I think that's the way it is on a lot of games. But they definitely look really good. I can tell you that. Some of them are pretty close to, like this character here, that character's face looks undetailed, doesn't look very good. But then when you look at this character here, there's a lot more realism to the character. As you can see, his skin texture, all that stuff looks really, really good. Looks very realistic. But when I was looking at Bobby Lashley, the skin texture was a little better on him. But this is definitely really good. Now this game has some really bad hair textures, as well as hair physics. You know, the hair texture in WWE 2K19 is actually better than this. Maybe even the skin texture. I don't know about the skin texture, but something about the way the colors come in and the hair texture. The hair texture, this is absolutely awful. I mean, it's terrible. Sometimes you can't even, it doesn't even look like hair. It just looks like, I don't know. It's just weak. It's very weak compared to WWE 2K18 and 19. 18 and 19 have better hair textures. Even though they have the same hair, they have, and some of the textures with the clothes are a little too strong. Like this character here, that's supposed to be like some type of shiny material, but it's a little bit too much. WWE 2K18 actually looks better when it comes to some of the clothing textures. Some of them not so much. I'm gonna go to this character here so you can see what I'm talking about. The hair texture just doesn't look very good. It just looks like, I don't know. It's just not working out. Even the real WWE talent, their hair texture and physics is pretty messed up. The skin and faces look fine, but anyway, the whole point here is, now I'm gonna test one more thing. We're gonna look at the load time, because now the worst load time you're gonna get in this game is when you use custom wrestlers with custom arenas. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to and we're just gonna see just how long that takes, man, because this is a created wrestler. It doesn't matter what created wrestler I use. I don't even know why I'm even bothering to even scroll through this now. Let's go to arena. Go to your created arenas here. We'll just do this here. We'll leave interests on, and we'll go to start. Let's just see just how long this loads. Because usually these load a hell of a long time when it comes to the PS4. And let's see what we got. Do we have time to take a nap, get a snack, go to the restroom, maybe run to the store and come back? Maybe even, as you can see, still right now, this is pretty long. I will tell you, the PS5, I played The Sims on that, and The Sims is like one of the worst games for loading that I have ever played because of all the content that you add to the game. That wasn't bad, actually. That was definitely better than PS4 for sure, because it started to speed up toward the end.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from New York, weighing in at 219 pounds, one half of the AJ Adams.
As you can see, there's a glitch. They said one half of the. They don't even say tag team on here. Like, when you use crated belts, they don't announce none of them correctly. I thought for sure they would fix that, but they just never did. And then if you do tag team matches, if you do a tag match with created tag team belts, it crashes the game after the second team enter. I don't know why it would crash at that point, because you're already ready to wrestle. I don't know. But if you turn interests off, it won't crash. I don't know if crashing is any different on the I've never had any PS5 game crash ever on the PS5 system. Never seen it before. I know it happens because I've seen reports of games crashing.
And his opponent from Green
They
Bay,
both have custom belts, and their custom belts look really good. The custom belts in this are very good. I like it. WWE 2K19 is slightly better because,
here we go. This is the match a lot of these people came to see tonight.
Just the textures and stuff just come on to the titles better. I may even do WWE 2K19 on here to see how much better that plays. Let's take a look to see if this even. I mean, as you can see, this doesn't look. This definitely doesn't look as good as these. Sometimes it's about what colors you use too. And those pink ropes. I mean, no, it looks good if you look at the texture of the ropes. But sometimes whatever pattern you use and all that type of stuff, that will affect textures. Because this doesn't look quite as good as that Raw Arena, but I think it looks good. It looks way better than. It looks a little better than it does on the PS4 for sure.
Very curious move to go for a pinfall at this
Anyway,
point.
that's this video. That's another reason to get a PS5 if you're not sure if you want one. You will spend less time with loads because, like I said, I play Sims 4 on here, and it's a lot better as far as loading is concerned. But this definitely looks good here for sure. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say it looks like a PS5 game because it definitely doesn't. Because when I look at the crowd in this, it looks good compared to the PS4, but compared to what this game looks like on PS4. But when I play games like FIFA or, games like MLB The Show that are PS5 games, the crowd definitely looks better on those games than it does on this for sure. So this ain't quite. Now, Days Gone, I played on here. It looks like a PS5 game. I may just go ahead and do a video on that too, just to show exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's this video. That's pretty much it. Just wanted to get that out there and tell you that yes, PS4 games do come out better. So much so that I would say it's even worth it. From what I'm hearing, it's pretty much the same thing as PS Pro, basically. That's what I hear. I don't have a PS Pro, so I wouldn't know.